So this lesson we're going to look at adding and subtracting. So let's practice this with these two examples. I've got 463 and I've got 295. We're going to add these. 463 add 295. Now notice that I've written the 2 in line with the 4 because these are both in the hundreds. 6 and 9 I'm adding together because they are in the tens, and 3 and 5 are in the units. If we make sure that we have the correct numbers in the correct column, it makes it a lot easier to do our addition. So that gives me 5 plus 3, which is 8. 9 plus 6 gives me 15. Now the 1 you need to carry over, so 1 and 5 make 15, and I've carried the 1 onto my hundreds column, which gives me 4 plus 2, which is 6, plus the 1 is 7. So 758 is my final answer. Right, let's try it with a slightly harder example. It's only harder with a few extra numbers. So I've got 6, 7, 3, 1. Add 2, 8, 3. Again, make sure our 1 and 3, they are the units. 3 and 8 are the tens. 7 and 2 are the hundreds. And then 6 is in the thousands. So as long as they're in the right column, we shouldn't have a problem. So we're adding these two numbers. 1 plus 3 is 4. 3 plus 8 is 11, so 1 and carry the other 1. 7 plus 2 is 9, plus the 1 gives me 10, so I'm going to write the 0 and carry the other 1. 6 plus the 1 is 7. My final answer is 7,014. Now let's have a look at subtracting. Same principle when we're writing our values down. 487. Take away and make sure they're in the right column. 174, and then we can calculate. 7 take away 4 is 3. 8 take away 7 is 1. 4 take away 1 is 3. Very straightforward this time round. 313. Next example. 5284 take away 391. Make sure the 3 is in the correct column. 3 is 100, so it's going in the hundreds column. 91. Now this time 4 take away 1 is 3. 8 take away 9 cannot happen, it becomes minus 1. So what we need to do is we need to borrow from the previous one. So we've got 2, which becomes 1, and that can make that 18. So I've taken 1 from the hundreds column to make 18 in my tens column. Now 18 take away 9 I can do, which gives me 9. Now 1 take away 3, I've come to the same problem, so I need to borrow from the 5. So the 5 becomes a 4, I bring the 1 over, so now I've got 11 take away 3, which gives me 8, and then 4 take away nothing that's there, that just remains as 4. My answer is 4,893. Okay, have a go at this question without using a calculator. Now this time with decimals, it doesn't make it much more difficult. We just need to make sure again that we're writing it in the correct columns. So 53.8, 3.24. As long as we make sure our decimal point is in the same place, we can make sure that our numbers are written correctly. So adding, this value here is technically a 0, so 0 add 4 is 4. 8 add 2 is 10, so I'm going to write the 0 and carry the 1. 3 plus 3 is 6, plus the 1 is 7. 5, again this is technically a 0, so 5 plus nothing is 5. The decimal point just carries on in the same line with the rest of the decimal points. My answer is 57.04. Okay, let's have a look at a slightly more difficult one. Again, 73.57. Take away, make sure the decimal point lines up. 4.85. Taking away this time, 7 take away 5 gives me 2. 5 take away 8 cannot happen, so I need to borrow from the 3. That makes that 2, and I carry the 1 over. So now I've got 15 take away 8. 15 take away 8 gives me 7. 2 take away 4 cannot happen, so I'm going to borrow from the 7. That makes the 7 into a 6 and carry the 1. 12 take away 4 is now a value I can calculate, which gives me 8. 6 take away, this is technically nothing. 6 take away nothing is 6. Make sure you carry the decimal in the right line. Answer is 68.72. Now in the exam they like to ask you questions that are worded questions. So that means you need to read the sentence and try and translate the maths question that is involved. For example, question A on here. At the restaurant I order a portion of chicken nuggets and a Coca-Cola. How much does it cost? So chicken nuggets on the menu is $3.29 and a Coca-Cola on the menu is $1.69. So the maths question I need to do is $3.29, 3.29, add $1.69, so 1.69. Decimals line up correctly, so I can do my question. 9 plus 9, 18, carry the 1. 6 plus 2 is 8, plus the 1 is 9. Decimal point goes there. 3 plus 1 is 4. $4.98 is my answer. Now, part B says, if I pay with a $10 note, how much change should I get? So this time we need to notice we're doing a subtraction question. So I'm paying with $10. So that's going to be 10.00. And the price of my chicken nuggets and cola was $4.98. Make sure the decimal points line up. $4.98. And then we can do our calculation. And we're taking away this time. 0 take away cannot happen. And I can't borrow anything from the previous value, 0 again. So borrow again, cannot borrow, borrow again. This is where it gets confusing. So I'm borrowing all the way from here. That makes that into 0, makes that into 1. But I need to borrow from there. That makes 9. So I can borrow that and borrow from this one. Makes 9. Eventually back to where I was starting with 10. So I've got 10 take away 8 gives me 2. 9 take away 9 is 0. Make sure the decimal point lines up. 9 take away 4 is 5. 0 take away nothing is 0. My answer is $5.02. Right, have a go at this one. This time it's a chicken wrap and a lemonade, and still paying with a $10 note.